Hey guys, what's up? It's Sunday, the 11th of February 2018. It is about 12:29. I've got plenty of time to do this in because, well, my mom went to church and I should have gone to church as well. Uh, the thing is, like I said, I should have gone to church as well. Let me just move just a little bit. There we go. But like I said, I should have gone to church as well, and that was my fault. So, raise this up a little bit. There we go. There we go. I don't know if you guys you could hear me, but anyway, yeah, I should have gone to church this morning too, but I didn't. And it's not because I don't want to or anything. It's just more along the lines of I guess okay, honestly, maybe I just didn't want to today. But I do have to go, and I should go, and so should anybody else that feels similar to that. But when I stay at home, the fortunate thing is, like a lot of church services, a lot of churches out there, the service is online. So in case we don't go, we can watch it live, and it's online on YouTube. It's online at Facebook at Adventure Christian Church of Patterson. So we're able to watch it live when it happens, or if we can't watch it live, and if we're not able to be there, we can watch it after it's been uploaded from the live stream. And which is beneficial because, and Lord forgive me for saying this because I know God watches and listens to everything we say. Lord forgive me for saying this. There is a lot of people that, well, they know they should go to church, they know they should attend, but it's almost like to a lot of people, and again, God forgive me for saying this, Lord forgive me for saying this, it's almost like it's just the same thing week after week, if not year after year. It's like it's the same lessons you heard the previous year being repeated once again. Sorry about that. And I can understand that because it's like, wait a minute, we just learned about this last year around this time. Why are you doing it again? I think the way you have to look at it is kind of like school in a sense. Let me explain. You see, in a lot of churches, there's Sunday school and stuff. So, and that's for the young kids. There's not as well as there's like a youth class, a youth, a youth class, if you will, youth school, if you will. Easy for me to say. But there's a youth class, youth school, whatever you want to call it, that takes place during services as well. And I think, in a sense, in all due respect, a lot of people that would rather decide to sit at home and watch the service online or whatever church they go to them, and if they feel that same way of like, hey, I just learned this last year, why is it being repeated? Well, first of all, the thing is, sometimes the pastor or the reverend will change it up a bit to make it more refreshing. You know, it's kind of like, it's kind of like basically they're trying to refresh something that you already know. Like you take a look, let's say, for example, at a story arc, at a storyline in a cartoon or in a movie or in wrestling or whatever, and you say to yourself, wait a minute, this seems very familiar. It's like I've seen this be done before, but you notice that even though you can, but you may notice that even though you'll kind of realize that it's basically the same storyline you've seen before, that there's a few twists and turns. Like there's a few differences, a few added moments or added adjectives, if you will, put in there to kind of freshen it up. Like it's the same thing, it's the same story and all that, but it's changed up but there's enough thrown in there to kind of make it feel fresh and new. And again, I can understand how people might look at it that way. Even youngsters, like my nephews, my teenage nephew, his his nephew, well, his nephew actually wants to go to church, wants to bring his mom. But I can understand from like my second older nephew, to even now my youngest nephew, my soon to be 11-year-old nephew, to even my, wow, what's it going to be, 23 this year? Whew. It's a long time. But my 23-year-old nephew and excuse me, even my soon to be 26-year-old niece, even up to my sisters and all that, I can understand maybe why a lot of them don't like to go. And it's mostly because it's just a rehashing, like I said, of what they had learned previously, of what the pastor or the reverend had talked previously about. And again, that might be true in a sense, but I think it's also the fact that we're not looking at it from a mentality that we should look at. And that mentality is going to school. For example, when you go to school, let's say you go up a grade, you're going to learn a lot of different things. You're going to have the same subjects and all that, but it's going to be a grade up. You're going to go a grade up. And by going up a grade, by going up a grade or so, like I said, by going up a grade or so, you're still learning technically the same stuff, but it's just a little bit different. There's a few things that make it similar but different. And honestly, I think. Oh, sorry about that. Hold on for a sec. My chair's kind of acting up a little bit. But to me, it's kind of like that. It's like we got to look at it like, we're learning once again. We're learning once again the same. That even though we're kind of learning the same thing as before, there are a few things that are going to be different to make it more fresh and new. Like, let's say I was in high school. Of course, like anybody that went to high school, you have 4 levels of history. You have a regular social studies, you have something like an independent or something like that. Then you have an American history, then you have an American government. Basically, there were similarities every year. Every year there was a similarity. We went from American history to American government, and there were similarities, but there were differences. Same with independent studies or independent history, whatever it was called. Same similarities as American history as what we will basically the independent history in the sophomore year, kind of like, was similar to what we were learning the next year in American history as juniors. The point is, you're always going to have those similarities, but the big difference is you're going to have a lot of refreshing. Or not refreshing, but a big difference is whoever's teaching you that, whether it's the same person as the year before or not, they're always going to put something in there to make you feel more fresh and new. More like, yes, it is the same stuff, but here's a few things added in that are going to make it feel fresh and new. And I think that's what a lot of us that know that we should be going to church and attending church and bless and thanking God for the many blessings that He's given us, thanking Jesus for the many blessings He's given us, and for going and dying for our sins and resurrecting 3 days later. We have to look at it like, okay, we know our pastor, we know our reverend is basically teaching or preaching the same stuff he did previously, but we have to look at it like, oh, but he's adding in a few differences to make it feel more fresh and new. We got to look at it from that perspective. Like, this is going to be fresh and new. Like, yes, it's a rehash, it's a repeat, but but there are some things in there that make you feel fresh and new. Like they might throw in a different scripture, from a different book of the Bible, and that relates to what they're talking about or the preaching. And that helps out in the end. That helps out. That might help out in the end. The point is, I know I can understand from my perspective that, we feel that, hey, we don't need to go back and relearn the same stuff over and over again, because it's like a broken record. It's like a record that has a scratch in it. It just goes over and over and over again. It just goes over and over and over again. And it's like, when is it going to stop? When are you going to give us something new? So that I think that's one of the major cases. And sometimes also we might look at it like, it's for the benefit of somebody else. It's like we look at it from the perspective, with all due respect, nothing to offend, but with all due respect, we look at it from the perspective of the fact that we feel that, yes, we should be going to thank the Lord for what he's done for us, for giving the blessings that he has, for taking care of us, allowing us to wake up healthy every day. But there are some of us that feel that basically that is the reason we should be going, and it is. But there's a lot of us that also feel, well, only going because somebody is asking us to go to thank God, to thank the Lord for the blessings, which we should do, and which we should and shall do. But also there's some of us in life that feel that the person that's asking us to go, or telling us, hey, or suggesting we should go or something like that, is not just doing it so we can go and thank the Lord for his many blessings, but they're doing it because they want themselves to look good. From the perspective of those that get asked by relatives and friends to go to church, even though we appreciate it, there's parts of us, in my opinion, that feel, yeah, that's great, we should do exactly what you're asking, but there's a part of us that feel you're only going to make yourself look good. That you're not like, okay, you don't have to go, that's fine. I mean, it's basically like that. That's the thing. It's like in the eyes of many people, well, not many people, but eyes of several people, in my opinion, it's not the fact that we shouldn't go to thank God. We should, but it's more along the lines, in their eyes, their perspective, that we're going to make the person that's asking us to go look good in the eyes of the fellow peers. That's the way it looks like. But that could be further from the truth, because nowadays, with the advent of online, a lot of people, yes, like I said, are given the choice to stay at home and watch the service, still get that same spiritual, necessity, that same spiritual feeding that they get even if they were there physically. But they don't have to worry about, let's say the person that's asking them to go have to wait for that person to leave, because there are some people that feel, like I said, in my opinion, and it's not necessarily true, but from my opinion, from their perspective, are only going to make themselves look good. And that's it. It's not like, and again, that could be further from the truth, because if that was true, everybody that goes to church on a religious weekly Sunday basis, or whenever church is for them, basically, if that was true, they would do everything in their power to make sure the people they want to go would go. Even if they had to drag them out of bed in their pajamas to make sure they would go, they would go. So basically saying that from the perspective of the people around that feel that that's the only reason, it's further from the truth. Because if that person feels that, hey, okay, you don't want to go, that's fine, but at least that's fine, then they know that, hey, you may not be there physically, but you'll be there spiritually because you're going to watch it online. So I know that sounded like I rambled a little bit, but that's pretty much the case. That's pretty much the case for a lot of people, in my opinion. It's like, again, some people might say, oh, well, they don't want us to go they want us to go to thank the Lord and everything, and that's great, but also they want to go to make themselves look good. And again, that's further from the truth. That's further from the truth. But they would encourage people to want to watch it, to kind of watch it online. And the thing is about watching it online, live or post-live after it's been uploaded, is the fact that they could take their time and watch it. They could walk around the house, they could do whatever, and that's pretty much it. Thank you for the compliment, Xander and Furby Dude. Thank you for the comments. But yeah, that's pretty much my opinion. I think that's perspective, and that's not just for people I know and relatives I know, but it's for everybody out there. And again, it's further from the truth. If your church has a service online that you could watch live or even post live after it's been uploaded, then that's your choice. You could watch it, still get that spiritual feed. And you're not having your hand forced into going. So even though that might seem, in your perspective, from your point of view, in my opinion, from their point of view, that might be one of the reasons they'd want you to go, to make themselves look good. That's not the case. That is not the case. So anyway, thought I'd just talk about that real quickly. Kind of a bit of a topic I wanted to talk about, but I also wanted to kind of let you know what's been going on. It seems that my job that I work at is behind the scenes has been kind of having some problems. One of the problems that we've been having, or that we had, was recently we were supposed to have our PTO, our paid time off from the previous year. Whatever we had left, we was, whether it went over a certain amount of hours, that was supposed to be paid out to us. What happened was apparently there was a glitch in the system, not just for our store, but for all the Walmarts, I guess, in California and around the area, and around the western part of the country, or even the rest of the country. I don't really know. There was apparently a glitch. So whatever hours we were supposed to get paid for, we didn't. So now, according to my boss, that's been fixed, that's been readjusted, and that whatever we were supposed to be paid out is going to be paid out on the February 22nd check. So it's like okay, you couldn't tell us that the day we got our checks or the day after we got our checks. You couldn't, meet with all of us. Maybe even have our ZMS or CMS meet with us and say, yeah, this is what's going on. This is why your checks were different or not as big as you thought they were and stuff. Oh, I tell you. It's just one of those situations where you're like, really? Hold on for a second. Let me check something. Sorry, folks. I'm just checking some stuff around the house here. Ooh, well, I didn't want to do that. Hold on. No. Gotta readjust the pop filter here. Hold on. There we go. I think it got readjusted. Let me check. That's the one thing about pop filters. They always end up kind of messing up a little bit, depending on how you have it displayed. That was another thing too. My mom came home one day and saw what it was, and I had to explain to her what it was. And I don't know if it did dawn on her or not of what it could be, but basically a pop filter is what people use to record with, so that they don't get much popping noise or slivers or whatever they said it's good for on the mic. Anyway, yeah, apparently our job had a bit of a glitch in its system, so whatever we were supposed to be paid for as far as unused paid time off PTO is going to be adjusted. It's been adjusted. It's going to be put onto the February 22nd check. Another thing about my job, and I know a lot of you know about this, is a lot of us at my job are going to get one-time payouts in the next month or so. Actually, that's going to be within, let's see, the 8th was 30 days, 9th was 29 days, 10th was 28. So about 27 days, if not less than that, we're going to have one big major payout. And again, Now, and I know some people are not too happy about that due to the fact that what's happened because of that. But for a lot of us that are just associates, that's kind of out of our hands. Like, had we known what they were going to do, possibly to get to this point, it's beyond our control. It's beyond our control. There's not really much, we could do about that. But you know, my mom says this, and it's pretty much true. God has a reason for a lot of things happening, and He has a reason for this happening, and you know, who knows what's going to happen in the future. Um, but yeah, and that's not the only thing that's going on at my job either. Of course, one thing that happens every year is we go through what's known as at the start of the year at least, we go through what's known as a reorganization, if you will. I call it reorganization, reorganizing. Basically, a lot of the departments have mods they got to reorganize and change up. And by changing up and remodeling, if you will, it means either taking certain things out and putting new stuff in, or taking certain things out and putting stuff back in from the previous year. Like with electronics, they will take out certain like television shows and put new ones in that have been on DVD or Blu-ray, or they'll take what's there right now and they'll put back what was there previously. So it's kind of a back and forth kind of deal. So they kind of go back and forth on it. It's like, for example, yesterday I got the complete series of Mork and Mindy for $25 at my job. And to get the complete series of Mork and Mindy, which is 4 seasons, at that price is pretty good. I was thinking of getting Three's Company, but I'm probably going to save that for later because that's like $50, about $45 to $50. But I know my mom would like it because she used to watch it a lot. So, but yeah, this is a lot of stuff going on at my job. We also have a couple of new customer service managers, CSMs. One is a transfer from the Turlock area, and one is a transfer from the San Jose area. And they're still learning in a sense. I mean, the one from Turlock, I think's worked at the Patterson one before, but I don't remember if she just worked there the year before I was hired. But apparently she's had experience there, it looks like. The other one, he's from San Jose, and it looks like he's just started out as a CSM over probably in the San Jose area, and maybe he just moved out to this area with his family, so now he's at the Patterson one. But he's got a lot to learn, in my opinion, because he's a good guy. He's a cool guy. He's young. He's younger than me, obviously, but he's a cool guy and everything. But he obviously has a lot to learn when it comes to CSMing, because the other day when he opened, he had one side that had like a couple of tills registers filled taken care of, filled for the day, or at least for the morning. But there were others that were not. Like we have, like on one side, which is the grocery side, we have registers 7 to 1, as well as the self-checkout one. So apparently, from what I understood, 6, 7, 8, 6, 7, 5, and 4, whatever, those were filled. And I think even self-checkout got filled. The other side was not. The pharmacy side that had registers 8, 9, 10, 11, and that self-checkout on that side were not filled. So it's like, what's going on? And from what I could tell, these two new CSMs, as good as they are, and they're good people. They're good people. They wouldn't be in the positions they'd be in if it wasn't for working hard or something. Or maybe favoritism. I don't know, but that's an opinion. It's an opinion. God forgive me for saying that. But, whatever it is, apparently they don't like to work certain hours. It's like, oh, well, you're going to work these hours. You're going to, it's like, oh, see, it's like one of the new CSMs will look at the fact that, oh, you're opening the store today. They're not particularly fond of that. Or you're coming in at 9 o'clock or 10 o'clock. Not particularly fond of that because that's not what they're used to. I think they're more used to what they used to have at the other stores than what they have here. So I think what they're going to have to do, in my opinion, is they're going to have to talk to HR as well as the assistant manager, the front end assistant manager, and kind of get their schedules changed and closed out. And what I mean by closed out is just basically say these are the hours, this is the time I can start, this is the time I can close. That this, or basically between this time and this closing time are the time between. Well, basically it's like with me, I do from the 8:30 hour to longest being the 5:30 hour. So between 8:30 and 5:30, they could schedule me 8 hours, or they could do 9:30 to 4:30, 9:30 to 3:30. They could do 8:30 to 4:30. They could do 8:30 to 3:30. They could schedule me around any of those time frames. One of my upcoming schedules, one of these schedules I have upcoming has me 12:30 to 4:30. So it's between that time frame of 8:30 and 5:30 that they can schedule me. And that's basically what these CSMs have to do. They have to say, I can only work between, let's say, 2:30 and 11:30. So basically they have to close out the schedule to have something like that, so that whoever schedules them, being the assistants or computers, from what I understand now, can say, okay, or can work out, okay, this person can only work between 2:30 to 2:30 and 11:30 hour frame or time frame. Okay, let's schedule this person at 2:30 to 8:30, and there you go. So, my opinion, I think that's what they need to do. They need to talk to the front end assistant, and they need to talk to HR and say, look, we need to close out our schedules and have these hours only, because this is what we can work. And they'd be surprised about how effective that could be. Yes, it would take time for them to make it for it to become official, but it would be something worthwhile, in my opinion. I think they'd be benefiting from it a lot better than what they're benefiting from it now. You know what I'm saying? It takes. It takes time. Again, thank you for the compliments. And yes, this is a shirt I got with my job. And I have played some 3DS games. I played Mario Kart 7, of course, Sonic Boom, Crystal and Fire. What is it? Sonic Boom, Crystal and Ice, I think, or something like that. Whatever Frank Hill gave me. So let me see, just in case. Sorry for that. Oh, Shattered Crystal is what it is, and Sonic Lost World. So those are the ones I played so far. And again, like I said, I played Mario Kart 7 on there. So I have played some games. I haven't gotten any new ones yet. I think those were the only 3DS games. Hold on. Those were the only 3DS games I think he gave me. Check. Yeah. Those are the only ones he gave me. And of course, I have DS games as well, so which I think are playable in that. I'm not really sure. Yeah, they are playable in my 2DS. Anyway, yeah. I think that's what the assistants of those CSMs have to do. They got to basically talk to the assistant manager and HR, human resources, to kind of close out the schedule, and so they can work Pacific times. Because there's a lot of CSMs I've worked with for a while that have that benefit, in a sense, to where they can work Pacific hours and stuff. So they don't have to worry. But yeah, but that's not the only thing happening with my job. Apparently, and another thing about the CSMs, they're good people, but I think they're kind of set in certain ways. So they still have a lot to learn, and there are moments to where established CSMs, with all due respect, I'm good friends with them and all that, have to learn that you can't take away someone's 15 minute break just because they go to the other side of the store to use the restroom, especially if they want a little privacy. And the only family restroom that you have is at the back of the store, and you don't have one in the front, which is kind of messed up. And specifically, you don't want to go in there sometimes after certain people go in. With all due respect to them, and Lord forgive me for saying this, but ay, ay, ay. Let's just put it that way. So, so yeah, it's one of those situations. But yeah, that's the one thing I think any CSMs of any stores, any front end managers, customer service managers of any stores have to realize. You can't take away someone's 10-minute, 15-minute, 20-minute break because they spent like 5-10 minutes taking care of business, if you know what I'm saying. So hopefully that'll change, and hopefully that will change. But another thing that's happened with my job is the place I've been going to for the past couple of years, Smart and Style, which was established in my store, which is a salon place, a hair cutting place, closed down. Now the business itself didn't close down, but the store, the location, shut down. We don't know why. I thought it was doing good business. It was doing good business as far as I was concerned, and they did a great job as far as I was concerned. But now apparently the location of the Smart and Style in the store closed down. So now we got to go back to Supercuts, because I guess now Supercuts has made some kind of deal where they will honor the discounts of the Walmart associates. I'm not really sure. But yeah, apparently I don't know what happened. I don't know if maybe their license was up, because I do know that when you rent out space in a big store like a Supercenter, a Walmart Supercenter, or a Target Supercenter, to put a business in, that you only have a certain amount of years on a lease for that area, for that spot. So I don't know if maybe what happened was the lease was up and they couldn't pay for another few years. They couldn't afford to do another year or so. I don't really know. So, we'll just have to, wait and see exactly what the reason was. But yeah, apparently Supercuts is no longer there. Now the speculation has begun of whether or not another salon's going to go there, or if maybe there's going to be a bank that goes there. Because if another salon goes there, it's going to be like, what salon is there going to be? Is it going to be Glade Clips? Is it going to be some new business that's trying to get off the ground? We don't know. Is it going to be a filing place for nails and all that, pedicures and all that? Is it going to be a dentist place? Oh my goodness, who knows? The other speculation is it going to be a bank? Because if it's a bank, then the most logical thing to me and anybody else there would be it has to be a Bank of America. Because if a bank goes into that location, it has to be a Bank of America, because across the way you have Wells Fargo that's pretty much rented out a major part of Save Mart to operate there. So it only makes sense that even if it's for a small area, you could put a Bank of America in that area. It can be done. I've seen it. A lot of stores do that. A lot of stores will have one small section that'll be mainly dedicated to the bank, and it might just be one or two people working it, and then the rest could be like automated or ATMs and all that. But hey, if they could put a Bank of America in there, anybody that uses Bank of America, which is a lot of people, millions of people, that would be beneficial for them, especially the people here in the Newman Patterson areas. That would be beneficial for them because they wouldn't have to go to Modesto or Turlock or wherever just to deposit their checks. So if a Bank of America goes into that store, into that now soon to be empty area where Smart and Style was, that'd be beneficial. But again, we don't really know. For all we know, it could be another restaurant. It could be another fast food joint. We have Subway that's rented out a big area. For all we know, they can end up having competition in the form of, let's say, a Taco Bell, which is ironic because Taco Bell is right across the street from us. Or it could be, it could be a McDonald's, again, ironic. It could be a Jack in the Box, could be a Wendy's. And it wouldn't be far fetched because across the way down this direction, there is a gas station, just like the gas stations off when we get off the freeway coming back into Patterson from, let's say, coming back out of the Bay Area and here into the area, into the Patterson area. There is a Subway that's located right within a small little Subway deal that's located in the Chevron station over here. So I wouldn't put it past any kind of fast food place to put maybe a little something there. Like I said, maybe put a Jack in the Box or Wendy's or Carl's Jr. because it'd be big business. I mean, or even a Starbucks. That would be big business because the Starbucks and all that is close to us in Patterson is like close to the freeway. They put something right there, instant business boom. So again, the speculation is of what will go there. We don't really know. Oh, it's like the mystery. It's like you don't really know what's going to go there. I mean, here's the thing. I take the bus to go home at times. And one of the things I noticed in that area, getting off the freeway, that right behind I think it's a little downwards, right behind the KFC and the A&W, they're making another Valero gas station. I told my mom this. She's like, why do they need to make another one? What's going on here? And then right across from that, you have a Mobile and a Baja Fresh hybrid station, which is also going to play host to a Baja Fresh restaurant or Quick Stop, whatever, right in that area. So it's like the areas that need it in Patterson are like within town, not going out of town, or coming back into town. It's it's like, what's the point of doing that? What's the point of doing that? So, I mean, what's the point? I mean, what would you guys think about that? Uh, have I watched Dragon Ball Z yet? Have I watched any Dragon Ball Z? I've watched Dragon Ball Z in the past. I have Dragon Ball Z Resurrection F. I haven't watched it yet, but from what I heard, it's good. I think what kind of when I used to watch it, I think it kind of got at me a little bit. It was kind of a bit of a jump scare. It was a bit of a jump scare. It's when that little Goku or whatever it was turned into a freaking huge gorilla, and they just zoomed in. It's like whoa! It's like whoa! That's kind of like what it was to me. It's like when that moment happened. Yeah, I've heard about the Twilight Raven battle. We'll see what they do. See what they do about that. I'm looking more forward to what season eight's going to have with how season 8 of my MLP is going to be like, because I know some episodes were already leaked and everything, not completed, but just fully animated. They were kind of more like 75% complete. I'll put it that way. So we'll just have to. I'm looking more forward to that right now, and I'm also looking more forward to Avengers: Infinity War. I asked the question to Bob Show, and I kind of asked the same question to Linkara in separate packages I sent to them. What are the thoughts about Infinity War and the trailers they saw? So hopefully, whenever Linkara and Vega do a pure unboxing video, and Bob Show does another unboxing video, may get some answers to that. Hold on for a second. And just a little bit after I finish this up, I'm going to probably be watching Media Hunters Animal Olympics review. Also, while I'm at it, I thought I'd show you that I recently got these at my job for about $5.97. Space Jam cup and a mug and a Wonder Woman mug. That's what I'm talking about when I talk about mods being things being remodded and things being brought back out or being brought out again. They sold these kind before and they still sold them throughout the year, but they kind of stopped a little bit and now they're bringing back out. So it's nice to have big old cups to drink coffee, mug, or soup out of. One thing about those Kurgan cup deals, when you want to add water or you want to have a cup, you got to add more water sometimes because they don't specifically. They should have one that automatically just puts you put extra water on one side and it goes from that. I don't know. Um, what was I talking about? Oh yeah. Again, what was I talking? Oh yeah, I can't remember right now. I totally forgot. Sorry about that, guys. Um, what was I talking about? Oh yeah, I was showing the cups and everything. I'm sorry. Sorry about that. But yeah, like I said, we don't really know what's going to happen with that area at my job, whether or not it's going to, be a smart and style. We don't know if it's going to be another salon, if bank, could be a little fast food quickie. We don't know, so we'll find out eventually. But that's going to do it for the vlog portion because now again, well, one other thing, I'm kind of becoming like a jack of all trades at my job. I mean, in the past couple of weeks, I know of, like, for example, yesterday, I'm doing not one, not two, but three different jobs. I'm doing of course, doing cashier, which I'm primarily known to do. But I'm also doing other stuff I'm trained to do, like customer service, as well as doing carts because that's what I primarily did as well when I started. So, and another thing too that's pretty interesting is within a week from now, even though I have that day off, I'll be celebrating 4 years. 4 years straight at Walmart Patterson. That's pretty good. It's probably the longest streak I've ever had with any job. honestly, because any other job I've had has been like 2.5 or 3 years, and that's it. This is 4 years, 4 years. I'll be celebrating, and God willing, next year we'll make it 5. That's amazing. I talked about the fact that this year is the 10-year anniversary of me being on YouTube, straightforward, without any interruptions. It's also the 4th anniversary of me working at my job, and the possible year that I hit, quite frankly, I could be hitting 10,000 videos uploaded. That's a million. So a lot of big stuff coming up. But then next year, I hit half a decade. God willing, I hit a half a decade at Walmart. And as well as next year, I'll be turning 40. This year, I'm going to turn 39. So it's like, holy crap. But yeah, that's the only other things going on at my job. But let's talk about some topics now, and I'll be back in a moment with some coffee to talk about some of those topics. Sorry about that. I had to get me some coffee. But let's talk about some topics here, folks. First topic I want to talk about, and I know I didn't describe them in the description, so I do apologize. But the first topic I want to kind of talk about, straighten that out a little bit. Let me check. There you go. Yeah, first topic I want to talk about a little bit is Disney streaming service. I was going to do an individual video on this, and I'll probably do that later. But yeah, apparently the Disney streaming service is going to be starting up within a year, I think. In fact, let me check that. Okay, looks like they have some. Yeah, they got more information on this. And comic book movies talks about it, comicbookmovie.com. So. Yeah, but you say 2019 at some point in the 2019 era. Yeah, so yeah, 2019. But the Disney streaming service. Now, what I just read there is apparently any programming, any movies or programming that might be kind of like, I would say, TV 14, R rated, whatever, is going to remain on the respective networks or services. So, in other words, a lot of the Marvel stuff that's on Netflix, that was developed for Netflix and such, is going to remain there. Runaways, which is on Hulu, is going to remain on Hulu. Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. is going to remain on ABC. Cloak and Dagger on Freeform. And then any R-rated movies and stuff, I think, is going to end up on Hulu and possibly Netflix as well. So, yeah, anything that. So apparently, what it sounds like is Disney wants to establish the streaming service as a family-friendly streaming service. So that so that way no youngsters or anything that watch the streaming service can end up watching something they shouldn't. So that sounds good. But the speculation about the streaming service is, what are we going to get? Now, apparently we're going to get a new live-action Marvel series, possibly a live-action Star Wars series, a High School Musical series, and an animated Monsters, Inc. series. But there's also speculation, maybe some people have been talking about what else could be part of this. And if it's a streaming service that's kind of 24/7, well, not 24/7, but basically allowing you to watch what you want to watch when you want to watch it, kind of like Netflix and Hulu, then there's no doubt in my mind they got to definitely bring out the big guns for this. They got to bring out everything Disney related. They got to reach down deep and get everything Disney related onto the streaming service of theirs. And I look at the fact that you got the Disney Afternoon properties from Gummy Bears, DuckTales, Rescue Rangers, Tailspin, Gargoyles, Bonkers, Mighty Ducks, Darkwing Duck, Goof Troop, Aladdin the series, Little Mermaid the series. Well, which it wasn't Disney Afternoon, but still, it was around that era. Masupalami, Raw Tunage, even Snookums and Meat. I know not a lot of people like Snookums and Meat. Believe me, Chris Moore, I understand you don't like it. I wasn't too fond of it either. Quack Pack, Hercules, 101 Dalmatians, a series, including the new one they're bringing out. So, yeah, definitely, in my opinion, Disney definitely has to bring out big guns, animation-wise, nostalgic-wise, and all that. They got to bring out those big guns there, along with some of their established properties like Mulan, Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs, Lion King, Aladdin, the Aladdin movie, the Robin Hood, Sleeping Beauty, both Rescuers movies, Frozen, Moana, Wreck-It Ralph, WALL-E, Toy Story series. They got to bring out everything off the bat. And I know some people say that's going to be impossible for them to do when it starts out. Look, if Disney wants to really, show that they're going to be the new dominant streaming service, that they're going to be the place you want to go to, then this is what they got to do. They got to do that. They got to bring out everything that I've mentioned. They got to dig so far back into that vault. They got to dig so far back in that vault when they first start. The first day they launch, depending on how much the price range is, and according to what they say, it's not going to be as expensive or affordable. Basically, what they're saying is it's going to be more affordable than what you get with Netflix. Netflix, I'm cool with. I'm cool with Netflix. I'm cool with Hulu. All right? I'm cool with PureFlix. I'm cool with Living Scriptures. I'm cool with all that. I'm down with all that. But from what they're saying, is the Disney streaming service is going to be just a bit cheaper. And if that's the case, you want to show that you value your audience a lot. You want to reveal that you value your audience a lot. Then here's what you do. You bring out everything I've mentioned, the big guns from the Disney Afternoon, Saturday morning programs, to your movies and all that, you got to bring out the big guns. You know, so you're trying to read what Deadline has to say here. Yeah, but the thing is, like I said, they got to bring out the big guns for this. It's all good with the saying of they want to, kind of get the establishment first and everything. That's great, but it's going to be. I look at it this way. It's going to be like the Toon Disney when it started. When Toon Disney started, pretty much they brought out everything. They brought out the big guns. They brought out what made animation at Disney, fun. That's what they did. They brought out everything that made Disney fun. They brought it out. They did. And I think that's what they're going to have to do here. They're going to have to bring out the big guns. There's no doubt in my mind they're going to have to do that. Oh, it's going to be affordable, Jordan. It's going to be affordable. Yeah, Comcast can try to outbid the Fox deal and try to get some of the properties over to their side. And that's cool. And that's cool, I guess, if they want to do that. And like I said, that's cool if Comcast wants to try to outbid to try to get some of a bid to get the Fox deal. But the thing is, it's pretty much a done deal. Even if they can work something out, why would they want to get it? To create their own Marvel universe? Look, Sony's already trying that. Get that in a moment, but I don't think Comcast is going to get it. I don't think Disney has worked too hard to get that deal made. So I don't think Comcast is going to be able to outbid them unless they're going to have a reason for it. Disney will not resell something they just bought unless they get something out of it in return. That's my estimation. That's my opinion on that. Is they won't get they're not going to do anything unless they get something out of it in return. But yeah, like I said, Disney streaming service wise, it kind of reminds me of like when the Toon Disney launched. Toon Disney, it took time, but right off the bat, they brought out all the big guns. They brought out all the established Disney afternoon shows. They brought out every establishment of animation they know of, from movies to shows, you name it. Even shows they were able to license out where they still had the Cookie Jar, DHX, Dick Entertainment license under the belt. They were able to still license out things like Super Dave, Adventures of Sonic the Hedgehog, you name it. So my opinion is I think they need to really start. They need to go with that kind of mentality. They need to be like, yeah, we got to basically come out guns a-blazing for this moment, for that launch date. Because I guarantee you, as time goes on and we get closer to 2019 and that launch date of when Disney streaming service is going to happen, they're going to have to make sure that they have everything they need to get people's attention. They're going to have to do that. You're going to have to, like with Netflix, you're going to have your different categories of movies and shows. You're going to have like here's what I would suggest. Create playlists. Fans are going to have their established favorites. Whether it's live action or animation, they're going to have their established favorites. So in my opinion, what you do is you create separate playlists for, like, if you have if you're going to have Kim Possible as part of that, put a list for the complete series of Kim Possible. That, to me, doing something like that, like doing a complete list of Kim Possible episodes of the entire series of Kim Possible, boom, just like with Netflix. Netflix basically has a complete series, or even if it's currently airing on regular television and it slowly goes over to Netflix or Hulu, they basically have most of the series up to date until the latter episodes come on. So basically, that's what Disney has to do. They have to take an inspiration from what Netflix did and said, okay, we know there's Kim Possible fans. Let's put all the episodes of Kim Possible in one area along with the movies. Or we know there's a lot of Rescue Ranger fans. Let's do that. Another thing I think that needs to be benefited from that, speaking of Disney Afternoon, is they need to bring back the uncut pilot movies of all the Disney Afternoon shows. That's what they need to do. They need to bring out the uncut, full-length pilot movies that aired during prime time and during the first day, the initial debut day of the Disney Afternoon. They need to bring those all back. The uncut movies the uncut movie pilot for DuckTales, as well as the movies of the Bubba the Duck one that introduced Bubba, the time travel movie, as well as the Super DuckTales one. They need to do the same with Rescue Rangers. They need to bring out the uncut version of To the Rescue. They need to bring out the uncut version of Thunder and Lightning. Darkly Dawns the Dark Green Duck one. They need to bring out the first couple of episodes of Goof Troop, the uncut version of Going Bonkers, which is Going and Gone Bonkers uncut. The uncut Awakening for Gargoyles, I should say, for his face. Basically, they need to basically, in my opinion, this is what I would do. I would bring in everything that put me on the map that people growing up with Disney and are currently growing up with Disney know about, and we know they would enjoy. And the uncut movie pilots of those Disney Afternoon shows I mentioned, including the uncut series finale or movie finale for Gummy Bears, they need to bring in. They need to bring that all in. And if they're going to really set the standard for what their streaming service is going to be. Because you want to establish that, hey, we're going to be the streaming service you're going to want to watch more so than Netflix and Hulu and Amazon and all that. That's how you do it. You bring out everything. You bring out guns a-blazing. And I guarantee you do that. You do that, and people will love you for that. Once word gets out that you have done that's part of your service. That's part of your service. Then people will love you for that. And that's the thing too. You could also do a Disney Afternoon playlist. You could, like I say, categorize Rescue Rangers as a complete series, DuckTales a complete series, whatever. But you can also create a Disney Afternoon playlist from year after year after year. Or even allow people to create their own little playlist of what was their favorite Disney Afternoon block. And yes, I do know they're creating a live action Kim Possible. That's good. The question is, who are they going to get? I don't know. Are they going to get one of the girls from the Descendants movies, the High School Descendants movies? Maybe. Don't know. But, yeah, if I'm Disney and I'm going to go through with this guns a blazing. I just start out full force. Here's what I do. Like I said, with the Disney afternoon and all that, or like Toon Disney, I bring out everything. I bring to the table everything that made Disney what it is, and then also add in other shows and programs from the past, from the past, like the past 30, 40 years, as well as what's current. You bring in that human mix. I mean, a streaming service basically is going to allow you to showcase everything that you've had to put away. And I think honestly, they go the route that I've suggested. It's going to be great. I mean, think about it this way. One of the things I grew up on liking when I was a kid back in the 80s was growing up and watching Mouse-a-Size. Here's the thing. You bring out Mouse-a-Size as part of the streaming service, and you want to get your kids into physical education, that's the best way to do it. And Disney bringing that out would really help put them on the map, because then they would show that, hey, we're not just here to showcase all our established cartoon movies and live action movies and shows and all that. We're also here to help physically educate your child. Mouse-a-Size would do that. Welcome to Pooh Corner would help with the educational part. Dumbo Circus, same thing. I mean, the list can go on and on. You got the classic Mickey Mouse Club. Everybody's getting used to the new version that just came out. The MMC Club, the Club MMC. Guess what? Disney streaming service opens the door for the classic Mickey Mouse Club from the very beginning to be shown. Imagine that. Including the new Mickey Mouse Club that had a few established names in it from the music that's in the music industry now. Like, let's say Christina Aguilera, Britney Spears, Nick and Justin NSYNC, Justin Timberlake NSYNC. I'm just saying. Kids Incorporated the Kids Incorporated show would have a new platform to be on. The point is the Disney streaming service to me is a good idea, and they really, really need to come out guns a-blazing right off the bat on that launch date. Because you do that, and people will definitely, Disney does that, people will definitely want to go to them and want to try them out. But that's all I'm going to say on that topic. Let me go check something real quickly. I'll be right back. Okay, I'm going to have to stop it here, but I'll talk about some other topics later tonight. Right? And thank you all for watching, all of you. Really appreciate it. And I am out. But yeah, I'll talk about some other stuff later. So be on the lookout for another live stream of topics on my mind. So I'll talk to y'all later. God bless. Take care.